Hi, Soul Being Absolutely Beautiful. Every time, this is your host, Rudo, on this mothership. So let's be honest. The real reason why you keep doing inner work, why you keep hiring people to help you with identity work is because you want to become the person who is not afraid of hell. You're not afraid of burning in hell. That is who you're truly looking for within yourself. That fearlessness of the unknown, that willing to die on the hill for something you truly believe in without needing to create a persona for it, to hide behind it. When I think about this, I think of Iron Man 3, Tony Stark. Is it Spark or Stark? Spark sounds better. Tony Stark, who he believed his identity, he became enmeshed with the identity of Iron Man. He didn't know how to individuate Tony Stark from Iron Man. He became enmeshed with that identity because he believed that, oh, if I become Iron Man, if I destroy my human and become Iron Man, because the human represents the vulnerabilities, our emotions, those things, parts of our humanness that limit us. And Iron Man represents the territory your soul reflects back into your human, right? Your divinity, your the ability to transcend mortality, because our soul is the part of us within ourselves that doesn't die. Cinema therapy does such a great job in dissecting his personality. I'll leave the link below so you can watch the full video. But I want to talk about how you became who you are. You're getting your sense of self from your success. And when you get your sense of self from your success, you become immersed with that. It becomes so impossible for you to experience your multidimensionality as a creator. How do you step away from what you have created, what you're known for in the industry, what you're known for by your loved ones? How do you step away from that without feeling like stepping away from that is going to cause everything to crash down? How do you do that when your entire identity is based on that? So Tony Stark, as you can see, the development of his character from becoming Iron Man, he has a huge ego. We can't deny that. It's narcissism, right? And this is the core wound as a collective that we have. It's narcissism. That narcissism is defending something. It's trying to protect an element of ourselves that we don't want everybody else to see, that we see. When we close our eyes at night, when the world slows down and goes to sleep, it stays with you, it haunts you. It's the part of you that when you sit still with it, you're like, oh, I gotta grab another beer. I gotta grab another vice. I gotta distract myself. With Tony, it was like hooking up with all these chicks, different chick over a different chick, because if someone stayed longer, they would see who Tony really was, right? So he created this personality of like, oh, I'm a playboy, I'm Iron Man, I'm the smartest person in the room, I know what's going on, you don't. You need me. You're dumb. Right? That was his identity, the identity created to protect the real him, that he was afraid of dying, right? He was afraid of his mortality. So he distracted himself with doing, because he hadn't faced his own mortality. He hadn't faced his own limitation. And life forced him to really look at the motivation behind his approach to life, right? He later found out that all that money he was making, all the stuff that he was creating was destroying the world. So his identity became fragmented, right? His ego fragmented his mission. His mission was always to help other people, but he did it from ego and not from soul. Because if he did it from soul, from the get-go, those devices that he created, they would have never found themselves, their hands in their themselves in the hands of evil people who want to destroy, who want to take, who want to extract from the collective. And this is the dilemma that you find yourself in, because you're investing your money in the stock market and you don't know where that stock market, well, where those companies are investing that money. They're investing it into wars. They're investing it into like trafficking kids. You don't know that, right? That's a whole other topic. You can find all that dissection in the link below in the sovereign progression. I laid it out for you. But how do you pivot from this identity that you used to believe was truly you, but it's now imprisoning your soul? It's imprisoning yourself from actually experiencing what you want to experience. For Tony Stark, that was having a present relationship with, what's her name, Pepper? The chick who played his girlfriend, Gwyneth Paltrow. I don't know, I think it was Pepper or something like that. They had a family. He really wanted that. That was his deepest desire. He wanted to be a dad. He wanted to have somebody who really saw him. The chicks he was hooking up with didn't really see him. They saw this protection identity. He wanted to have people around him who saw him for who he really was, the genius behind Iron Man. He could walk away from Iron Man because he's the one who created Iron Man. He's not Iron Man. That's not his core identity. It was just a container he got to experience his genius. But that when he forgot who he really was and limited himself in that identity as Iron Man, that's when his PTSD would come in. That's when his he felt powerless. That's when he was constantly anxious. He was hyper vigilant. Hypervigilance became his identity because he put the burden of the world on his shoulder. He believed that the entire world needed him to survive, which is such a cruel burden to put on yourself, right? And that all came, from all these memories from his past where he felt that he believed that he was a failure. That became his identity, right? Cinema Therapy is awesome. You should subscribe to the channel. He believed he gave meaning to everything that went wrong in his past and attached his identity to that. And we often do that to ourselves. The shame that we carry around, the weight we have in our hearts, right? It comes from that. In our bodies, we carry it in our bodies and it manifests into illnesses. And then we choose relationships with people who mirror, who invest into that part of us, who mirror the rightness of that. We keep them close. They become our friends. They become our chosen family, right? Because they validate this feeling. So it's almost like you're punishing yourself through those people. And maybe for you, it might look like you're punishing yourself through how you designed your business, how you designed your empire, how you designed your life, your products, what your name is associated with. So that every time you see it, you're punishing yourself. It's that guilt. You're validating and fueling that guilt. So there's a sacred balance that needs to happen because yes, you're a soul having a human experience and you're human who's also having a soul experience. There's that liminal space that happens in the unknown, right? When you don't know, like, oh, there's so many different possibilities. When I put down my Iron Man suit, my Iron Man identity, this identity that is protecting me from the real me, from the world seeing the real me, because I'm afraid that they're gonna see that I'm just human like them, that I don't always have the answers. I'm afraid of being replaceable, right? I want to be one of one. I want to show them and prove them that I'm special, that I'm somebody, right? That feeling, that core wound that you feel right there, that got turned on right there. You want to create a life and relationships that naturally heal that part, right? So in healing, it's not a continuous journey. It's just a reminder that you're whole, that you're always perfect. You don't need an Iron Man suit to become somebody. They need to mirror back that identity that can create Iron Man suits, that can create all this stuff. And also collaborate with other people's geniuses. Because it's one thing, the ego, it creates a hierarchy. The soul's like, I want to collaborate. Humans are the most important resource. They are the source of all resources. But this world has been created to believe that, no, you got to climb on top of everybody and extract from those beings. There's no people, the systems that are out in the world, they're not valuing all human beings, despite creed, despite race, right? So now we have to create systems that balance all of that because of a collective of people, right, who believe that we are better than everybody else. It's all ego. It's coming from an inferiority complex. Hello. White superiority, white nationalism, colonization. Where's that coming from? And I won't argue and say, for me to be able to talk to you like this in English, right? It came from colonization, right? But look at the big picture. What is that legacy? We're now existing in the systems that came from that greed, from that need to extract, and from that need to manipulate other people, right? In order to exist. What would have happened if they were like, hey, we have this vision of allowing everybody to be able to communicate in one language, right? And we've created this language. It's complex. There's no clear system of how you can learn English. It's the most, difficult. We made it difficult for some reason, but we have a language we've created, and we believe this language will help everybody speak the same language and articulate and express themselves, right? It's a system to help us connect and create on the same level. But it has been used to create hierarchy instead of really collaborating as equals. Now the first world country's economy is created on third world country resources. What is that? It needs to be shoulder to shoulder. And those systems are reflecting the same systems we're creating our identity and our sense of self from, right? We're just responding, and we're creating from what we've been taught is the normal. But you're not here to create from normal. You're here to dismantle the things that are not working and integrating it into systems that actually are for the people. It pours into the people. It holds people, the stewards of resources for the collective, accountable without there being any consequences for holding them accountable. It's actually feeling that negative emotion that you feel, that guilt, that shame from creating and living, the consequences of creating and living from your ego, how it's affecting other people. Because, of course, as somebody who has created at your level, your decisions carry so much weight. There's so much responsibility that comes with that. But this is part of the human experience. As long as you know how to course correct, right? There's always a way to make things right. And it's so imperative, as you, a leader whose decisions carry so much weight, there's so much importance in individuating your identity from what you create, individuating your sense of self from how other people perceive you, how other people have been affected by your existence, by your ignorance, by your lack of knowledge, or by your too much knowledge. right? By your human experience. Because a part of the leadership is actually knowing how to digest all that emotion that is associated with all those, with that complexity, with that capacity, and knowing how to apply it to deep transformation for yourself and everyone else who gets to experience your transformation, who gets to receive the benefits of your transformation. So please watch that video from Cinema Therapy. It really gives you it's a good mirror to look within yourself and see where you're hiding, right? Where you're hiding and where you have convinced yourself this is who you really are and where it's coming from. And when you do that, then you're ready for the sovereign progression. You can find more information on how we can work together below this video or in the about section. And I would love to hear what really moved through you in the comment section. Otherwise, see you on the other side. Mwah.